Seemed like this year there's been some tough losses. There's some scars, of course, that'll stay with you. Didn't really see this coming. We had an idea what they would do. We knew that we needed to play well on both lines. We knew who controlled the line of scrimmage, of course. It normally wins, but that was definitely the case. Defensively, we hadn't played good defense in a long time. We knew they would come in and, would lean on the run. We knew they had great tight ends, and that's what they were able to do. Part of the passing game with their, early on, some of the crossing routes really hurt us. And in the end, they were able to run the football. Other side of the ball, we haven't played like this in a while offensively. They dominated, and it starts up front again. Our defensive line played good football. Can't turn the ball over like we did today. As simple as that. In the punting game or in the special team for the second week. But also a couple of those early fumbles really put us in the bind. So give them a lot of credit. They're definitely better than us today, and we have a long ways to go. After a performance like this, the only thing that can help you salvage a season is to have your rival coming up. But again, disappointing. Take the question.
Coach, this is the worst loss in Illinois history since 1906. What would your message be to Illinois fans over here today?
Hey, what do you say? You your first statement. Worst loss in a long time. Has to be better days ahead is what I would say. We're not a good football team right now. Good football teams can get beaten soundly against a good football team. So that's where I'm right now. We want to always stay there.
You had that takeaway really, really early in the game, but couldn't do anything with it. Did that kind of set the stage for what was to come?
That definitely set the stage. In an ideal world, if you don't get the football initially and score, you would like to, get a takeaway. But that kind of told us a little bit about what type of day it would be.
Coach, Nick Allegretti and Mike Dudek have been through so much during their time here. How tough is it to see their careers end like that?
Well, it's tough if their career just ended with this game. Again, luckily there's another chance we have to leave a good taste in their mouth. But this has to be disappointing, your last home game, to play like that.
Coach, you stuck with A.J. Bush for most of the game. Was there any thought of getting MJ in there a little bit earlier?
Yeah, but I wish it was just as simple as change one guy. But when they're dominating you the way they did, I just don't think that would have solved all of our problems. It wasn't one person make one change today type of game to change the performance. Each group we went with, we thought they gave us our best chance to have some success.
How prepared did you feel the defense was heading into this game?
Very prepared. You don't go into a game thinking you're not prepared. We practiced hard all week. Still feel that way. Today it didn't work.
You treated this week in this game, kind of must-win playoff push. With that focus, how do you feel? How do you think this result kind of comes from something like that, where you may emphasize how important this game is?
What can I tell you? We treated it that way. This was an important football game for us. We practiced that way. We treated it that way. I think everybody knew that, and we lost today. Don't know what else to say besides that. It was disappointment. Sometimes you get disappointed. This is one of them.
You said you guys didn't see this coming. Was it something that they did that caused this? Something different you weren't expecting?
Yeah. We weren't expecting this. I don't quite know what to tell you. We got soundly defeated by Iowa today. We didn't play well in any phase. Starting with coaching, I thought I had the team prepared. We weren't. They outperformed us every way. So don't really know what else to say besides that, except for we're going to try it again. We're going to go back to work tomorrow and see if we can have a better performance, with our team next week.
Coach, special teams have been such a strength for you for the most part of the year. In the last 2 weeks have hurt you a bit. What do you attribute those struggles to?
We don't. We didn't play well the last couple of weeks with special teams. Again, we practice the same way. Practice hard all week. Don't know exactly the reason why. When you lose, believe me, we would have done something about it. If there's a reason that we could have come up with to stop that from happening, the performance today, that's what we would have done. But that didn't happen today.
How much did it hurt to have Sidney Brandon and Jartavius Martin out today?
It hurt to have all of our players out that didn't play today. And injuries are part of it. But where we are, the injuries really hurt when you have to keep going down that chain a little bit. So if I was giving you excuses, I mean, I would start with that. We are banged up. But we got to get the next guys that are playing right now more ready to play than we're ready to.
Coach, you talked about the 2 tight ends and the crossing routes, and I know you had them scouted and everything. Was there a specific way you wanted to defend them that kind of broke down, or was it just a matter of guys getting to be one-on-one?
That, yes. That scheme. I mean, you can play man-to-man coverage, you can play zone coverage. We played them both. All right? They completed balls in both situations. So,
how did not having Reggie maybe limit what you could do offensively? Maybe how much focus
every
they could put on
player, guys, you know the guys that we played with. You know the guys that have been starters for us. If they're not out there, it hurt us today. Everyone. From Reggie, Sidney, to all of the other players. So, absolutely. Where we are with our program right now, there's a drop-off. So, when drop-offs happen, you can have a performance like this. It would have helped to have all of those players you talked about. They were missing guys too, though.
Did the Hawkeyes throw anything different at you scheme-wise
No.
on either side of the
No.
ball?
Is the answer. No.
Coach, what was
They
your-
normally don't. They run the same thing. They believe in what they do, and they execute you, which they did against us today.
Coach, what was your message to the team after this?
Message is just we're going to own this, which we have to do. Luckily, we have one more opportunity to get this bad taste out of our mouth. Nothing else you can say really about it. A quick turnaround. Going to go back to work with against Northwestern tomorrow.
Coach, you went with the
35-0. What was the thought there as to what you guys could do in the second half to change what was happening?
What was the thought? I don't quite know how to answer that either. The thought was, it's not just at halftime. When things happen, you start correcting those right away. You come in at halftime, you make other adjustments. That's what we did. We thought we had an opportunity. There's 2 halves of football. We lost the first one. The thought process is win the second half to have production right away, offensively, get the ball, get a drive right away. Pretty simple. Offense has to score pretty much every time. Defense has to take the ball away. That was the game plan coming in the second half.
Coach, you went with the 4-3 look, pretty much the whole game, 3 linebackers. Was that based on the opponent, or was that because of the lack of depth you had in the secondary with all the injuries?
4-3, I don't quite understand. We're a 4-3 team, and we're always a 4-3 team. Like they're a 4-3 team. Like most teams are a 4-3 team, or they're a 3-4 team. I don't quite know what your question is. When you play a 2-back set, a running formation like that, every team in America will line up in that set. From there, you got to get off blocks. There's only so much you can do.
You had delay in there instead of the nickel is what I was getting at. With the 3 linebackers on the field most of the time.
They're set coming in, though. We knew coming in that Iowa is run a traditional offense. We go nickel for the most part when teams go more 3 wide receivers. Today versus this, we knew that it would be a 3 linebacker, a basic defensive attack system that we would be running, and that we thought that was a good thing with our depth in the secondary right now to be able to keep our 3 linebackers out there. That was the best situation we could be in under these circumstances.
Lovie, you said at Big Ten Media Days you wanted to see progress in your 3. Have you seen that this year?
Overall, last year, how many games did we win?
2.
How many have we this year? I'd say that's progress. Disappointing right now, though. It's not time to talk about progress when you just lost that way. Today, we didn't play well. Has there been progress this year? Absolutely. Will there be more in the future? Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, sir.
All right, we'll have our players in the